have to have that off.
Okay, so here's the deal.
And da-da-da-da-da.
Right?
Well,
Theoretically speaking.
what? I thought I turned that off.
This is gonna be an every week thing.
No. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome to the Theoretically Speaking podcast. I'm Harper, and once upon a time, a couple months ago, I was with my friends, Cassi and Allison, and Cassi asked me a question. And the question was,
Hey, Harper, do you think that it would take time to travel through time?
and I said, no, Cassi, I don't. Because if you look at the time-honored Doctor Who model, I don't believe that time passes for them inside the TARDIS when they're traveling through the time stream.
Okay, but what if you don't have a TARDIS?
We're not talking... Okay. What are you traveling in, then?
I don't know.
I would
What if
think...
you're just walking through the time stream?
Oh, but how did you get there?
I don't know, I have these really cool shoes.
Don't-
Take me walking.
don't your
you know,
really
these
cool
boots are made for walking.
Don't your
Harper.
time-traveling boots have some sort of time shield built into them?
Well, maybe it's the future and I can't afford a time shield. Pair of boots. I can only afford a knockoff pair of boots that doesn't have a time shield.
Okay. Then, in that hypothetical situation that does not follow the time-honored model of the Doctor Who TARDIS, I suppose if your walking time-traveling boots do not have a time shield, then you would be at a loss and you would have to leave earlier. But if you're walking, you're going to take a hell of a lot longer to get there than through a TARDIS.
Yeah, you're probably right, but these
Do you
are
want it
important
to be
questions.
the way? Do you want it to take time to travel through
Listen,
time?
I just think we should look at all of our options here.
Okay.
What's the back in time? Back in the future. Back from the man. All my friends are gonna be so mad at me for not remembering.
Oh,
this.
that movie?
Back to the Future.
Yeah. I
I
haven't seen that.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay. Harper, cut that out.
Freaking. It starts with an M.
Marty McFly.
No. Yes, but no.
No.
The name of the car.
Well, I cannot
wanna
tell you
say-
that.
I keep wanting to say Mandarin Express, but I know that is the exact opposite of that. DeLorean.
DeLorean.
Why did I want to say Mandarin Express? It's the DeLorean, of course.
Is that I feel like I've heard the word, like, hopped in that DeLorean, like, in a lyric.
That's probably pretty accurate. That's probably a rap lyric. You know,
They
rappers.
probably, like, were referencing it or something.
Yeah, you probably just didn't know because you didn't freaking.
Oh, it was a Macklemore lyric. So I feel like he's the type to reference that. If I remember that. Because it was from that new song Glorious, and Glorious and DeLorean rhyme. So, of course, good old Macklemore would probably do that. But what about it?
I don't remember now. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, in the DeLorean and then in the TARDIS, you have to type in like, oh, I need to go to this time. But when you travel to that time, like and what if you have a watch on? If you get to that time, you have to like reset your watch. So, does it really take time? Like, does it really not take time? Because what if you're like in the TARDIS, your watch is still ticking on your wrist, and you hop in, and you're like, zoop, 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 I'm going to this thing, pull the lever, and even if it's only like 30 seconds, doesn't that technically mean it still took time to travel through time?
In my situation, your watch doesn't tick because there's a time shield. And so whenever you get out, it's the same time as when you left.
Yeah, but what if you get out at a different time?
You don't.
So, okay,
That's
so
the
you're in the dang TARDIS. I want to go to freaking 11 BC.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the lever. Mm-hmm. I'm in the DeLorean. I freaking
You're not.
go.
You're in the TARDIS.
You know, either one of those situations. I've got my watch on. My watch says 11:23.
Uh-huh.
When I get out of my thing, does it still say 11:23?
Yes, because wherever you're traveling to, it is 11:23.
But what if I want to travel to 11 BC at freaking 6 o'clock p.m.?
Well, then I guess you have to leave at 6 o'clock
What if
p.m.?
I'm traveling through time? I should be able to leave whenever I want and get to anywhere whenever I want.
Well, then, according to your model, you'd have to leave at whatever time to get there, I guess. Because, like, if you wanted to be there at 6 p.m.,
I'm just thinking, if you want to be there at 6 p.m., you type in 6 p.m., you get there at 6 p.m., but I'm from 11:23, and my watch says 11:23, even though I'm getting there on time at 6 p.m. because I've typed it in. When I get out, does it say, like, 11:23? Or...
Probably because I think it would, because that's, like, your time. It doesn't, unless it's a freaking cool watch that, like my
yeah, but does it say like
smartwatch.
11:23 or does it say like 11:24?
No, I think it would be paused. Because even if you get out at whatever time, that I think it takes no real time to travel.
Okay, yeah, but even though your time is...
Are you saying just because they, like, spend time in the TARDIS, that time should be, like, accounted for or something?
Yeah, you can't just, like, hang out in the time stream and with a time shield. I just feel like, you know...
I think it's, like, a little safe pocket where nothing, like, no real time is passed.
Real time is passing, how is your blood pumping?
Well, it's not like you're frozen in time.
That's the only real way that time stops.
But this is theoretical. My phone fell.
Hope it didn't break.
No, it's got made sure I had that good OtterBox case on it.
Dang, throwing that out.
Freaking Verizon was like, we can't let you leave without a good case. And they were like, we have this great bundle. And I was like, well,
I would have just said no.
I wanted to, because these people down the street who I had gone to see if they could fix my screen again, but it was a whole other issue. They were like, we'll give you $10 off case, and I told Verizon that, so Verizon gave me $20 off.
Oh, that's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thanks, Verizon.
Time travel argument is pointless. Nobody's ever going to solve it.
Yeah, I mean, and we keep coming up with more and more, like, how would this work, and how would that work? But this time travel conversation did lead to the creation of this podcast, because I mulled over the conversation for a while. I don't know if it was even a month. It might have been like 2 weeks or something, but a little bit of time had passed because we're not in a time shield.
Right.
And I approached Cassie and I said, Cassie, dang it, I've come up with an idea and I want you to be a part of it. And I wanted to make a podcast. I've always loved theories and hypothetical situations and listening to people talk about it. So I was like, do you want to do that with me? And she was like...
And I was like, heck yeah, man. I got tons of questions.
Yeah.
That don't make any sense.
And we were like the only two people who would talk about it with each other.
Yeah. Nobody else wants to entertain my ideas. Although I did pose that time travel question to a group of my friends in the Chili's like a week ago. And a couple of them were like, no, and then somebody else was like, yeah. I think technically your watch would keep ticking, but you would be able to get wherever you needed to go on time regardless of that. And I was like, that makes
so much sense. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that.
Hold on, we also brought up if I travel back in time, am I in my body?
What the freak? This is a whole nother level.
Does it? Yeah, this is probably something
Are you
else.
saying, like, do all of my cells regenerate or something?
No. You just rewind. And it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but you know that you've been in the future and you know what you went back to the place for.
I'm not following.
So, like, you can...
Wait, what is Groundhog Day? What do you mean by that?
Groundhog...
I mean, I know Groundhog Day.
Is this another movie that you haven't watched?
Oh, is that a movie? I just know the holiday.
Groundhog Day is a movie with Bill Murray, and he keeps waking up on Groundhog Day and reliving Groundhog Day.
I love Bill Murray.
Or I'm pretty sure it's Bill Murray, but
whatever.
Anyway, he keeps reliving that same day, so he has to like stop something from happening.
Oh, like one of those.
Yeah.
Typical.
That's, I think, one of like the very first ones.
Cool. Okay, so and then. Now re-explain to me.
Now re-explain. It's like the movie Groundhog Day. For any of you that haven't seen it, watch it. It's pretty dang good.
Most people probably aren't
instead
as
of like
as I was.
Instead of like waking up and it's the same day, you would just like rewind and be in that time that you needed to be in that day. But you would already know the future. And somebody was like, "Wouldn't that just be clairvoyance?" And I was like, "No." Because clairvoyant people haven't lived it. They just have visions of it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, pointless. A theory for another episode.
Yeah.
Clairvoyancy
something to think about.
And something else.
Clairvoyancy versus time travel.
Right.
And loops.
And loops.
I have another thing on loops, so we'll put those in the same episode.
Okay.
But yeah, other people have theories. My friends from high school, we had this theory, and I'm going to bring it up in another episode. But, short version, it had to do with connecting two people together by an organ. And if it would work.
I don't know if it would.
You'll have to listen.
I'll have to just talk about it.
Yeah, we bugged our teacher for anatomy and physiology, A&P, was a nurse, a registered nurse who had decided to teach.
Oh, we might have to get Annalise on here to talk about it.
Oh, man, that would be fun. Because my freaking Nurse Parker, if you're listening, you never answered our question. You refused, and you were like, no, we have to do things that are real. So we would talk about it for, like, almost every day once we started talking about it. We never got an answer. So I'm hoping through this podcast we can get an answer. Next order of business. So now you know where we've come from. And where we're going. We want to jump right in to our main topics because I know this kind of took a little bit, but we were really excited to tell you our backstory and get to like fully flesh out our time travel theories.
First theory is trees. Do you think if trees could talk, would they be sad? Because they live for so dang long that they see so much like war and destruction between like humans or all of these things. Like, you have to think they have to have some crazy stories. Also, we freaking cut down all their friends. They have to like yell across the street to each other now. Like, hey Ben, what's going on? Oh, nothing, just growing these leaves. But you know, I just feel like I've always got like a feeling from trees, as freaking hippy dippy as that sounds. I've always just felt sorry for them. And I don't know why. I've always felt like they'd just be so sad if they could talk. They've seen so much like bad things.
Okay, so you think like maybe they have some like sage advice to give humans, possibly, like if they were...
Probably. I've also thought about recently, like maybe the trees in my yard are happy because they've seen, maybe they have some sort of like
connection,
platonic relationship with their humans in the house, and they're like, oh, little Timmy was 5 yesterday. Because, you know, they lived for so long, it probably, like, our lifetime is
so small,
probably, like,
quick.
so quick for them.
Yeah, not small, but quick.
I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if they could talk.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Because, you know...
Back in my day.
Yeah. Oh, man. Wouldn't it be annoying if you were like a little kid and you had a really old tree?
Yeah.
And you go outside and every time they'd be like, "Hi there, Sonny."
Back in my sapling years,
Like-
the kids used to play kick the can.
And be like, "Why are you sitting under me with your laptop?" Like,
But you should be kicking the can too.
But then, you know how like on House Hunters or those kinds of shows, the freaking people are always obsessed. They're like, "We really need some trees in the yard."
I actually do know that, and I don't know if it's just on House Hunters or like families. Maybe humans have like a weird
trees.
Maybe humans have like a weird connection with trees. Maybe I'm not just the only one.
A platonic connection with trees.
But like humans are always like, oh well, there's no trees in that yard, so. Or maybe it's because it cuts down on the cost of air conditioning.
I don't think they thought that much into it. Yeah, but I don't think they thought that much into it.
Probably
I think they just want it for the aesthetic.
Yeah,
and because they like trees.
Yeah, trees, man. I just always feel like they're so sad. You guys, I want everybody listening to say back what they think trees would talk about, because this is probably one of my favorite things to think about. Is what would trees say if they could talk?
Yeah. I do think they would be sad. And then it goes further. Like, to me, okay, redwood forest, right? Super protected.
Yes.
Super big, super old. Giant redwood trees that have been around for like thousands of years. I wonder, and plus the roots are all connected, probably have really easy communication to each other. What if within the Redwood Tree Society, they probably haven't seen as much war and hate as other ones because they're a protected forest.
Yeah.
So, what if they have, like, a secret society of trees? They're all, like, they kind of have a sense of government or whatever, and they're just, like, having a great time. Like, you know, like, because they're not affected by war and stuff. They're almost like...
Yeah, they're probably
like
having,
the
like, a party.
perfect society or whatever, and maybe like when humans walk under them, they're like listening and they're like, oh man,
did
that
you hear what they just said?
that human world is awful, or something like that.
I wonder how my cousin Jen is doing.
Yeah, and they're like, man, they think we look so good, because you know they're like. The humans come in, they're like,
trees
wow,
are so beautiful.
they're so big. And they're like, oh, we know, you don't have to tell us.
You know, you guys can't see it, but in case you wanted to know, Harper just did a cute little hair flip.
Oh, yes, that's like what they would do with their leaves. Like when the wind blows through them, they're like, oh, thanks.
But yeah, well, that one guy, Baxter guy, in 1966, actually did some research.
Is he a Dr. Baxter?
He, probably.
Okay.
He's a scientist Baxter.
Okay.
You know, whatever you call those science guys. He did some research. Actually, you know what? He wasn't a doctor. He worked for the CIA.
Oh, dang.
He did some freaking research with the lie detector test.
Oh.
And he would hook the things to the leaves of one plant and then, like, cut on another plant and, like, see that plant's reaction. And it was pretty similar to a human's, like, stress reaction in, like, a lie detector.
I, like, want to cry right now.
Yeah. And it got to the point where he would forget that the plant was hooked up, and he would be eating lunch and have his little yogurt, and he wouldn't finish it all, and he would pour it down the sink, and the plant would start reacting because there are live cultures in the yogurt.
Oh.
But it's all very pseudoscience, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because, like, lie detectors, you can't use that in court because it's not technically fact, and
but
some people say
your
like
heart rate and
some people say that this, like, nobody else has tried to research and do it, I don't think, and you know, for a science thing to be
we should do that
real, it has to happen like 3 times.
It has to do way more than that,
doesn't it? I thought it had to be right It had to be exactly the same 3 times for
Then
it
it
to
might
be a
get to be-
scientific theory or
It
something.
might be a theory, but I think it has to happen way more than 3 times. And it would have to happen, like...
nobody freaking thought about it again. They just thought it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Bunch of CIA mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. Who even knows if the CIA is telling the truth anyway?
This... Dawn, did you hear about this Baxter guy from the CIA?
No, I'm too busy putting drugs in the water of this one city.
That's probably what the scientists in the 1960s sounded like.
Yeah, probably.
But this also makes me think, did you ever read, and I'm going to mess his name up, but hopefully you know by the title of the book and I won't have to say his name, the BFG? The Big BFG, Friendly Giant?
No, I didn't ever read that.
Oh my goodness, one of my favorite books as a child.
I didn't read a lot as a kid.
No, this was a big book too. It was like a thick book, and I loved all of his books that I read.
You know what? I never met my AR goal.
No, I always exceeded it. You know how many, to make you feel better, one year I got 8 math, whatever the math equivalent was. Like, I made 8 math objectives for the entire year, and it was one of those
We didn't have a math equivalent of AR when I was in school.
Well,
I think it's you youngsters.
Texas, man. That's also probably part of it.
Probably.
Yeah, but they felt the need to read everyone's math objectives out online and give everyone a certificate. I don't know why. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that participation award. I had to go up there when they were like, Harper McKnight, 8 objectives, and I felt like everyone felt bad for me because it was so low. Yeah,
that's basically what my AR goal looked like every 9 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. So, anyways, I love reading as a child. Mostly, I have like no time for that now. But the BFG was about, so in Dreamland, I think it's been a while, but I think like there was like Dreamland, and then these giants would come from Dreamland, or whatever you want to call Dreamland. Probably wasn't the actual name. Don't at me. But they would come and they would like blow dreams into little kids' rooms, basically, and that would be their dreams. And they were all brothers. All these giants were brothers. And the only one who was like civilized, and he did all the good dreams.
There was only one giant that did good dreams.
Yeah, all the other ones were like
nightmares.
Yeah.
How rude.
Yeah. So he was the smallest giant.
Oh, of course.
He was the little runt.
The underdog.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a real underdog tale. So he goes, and like this little girl, I don't remember if she was just awake or whatever, but she makes friends with the giant, and he like takes her with him. And he has really, really big ears. Real big ears. This is a movie. We should watch it together. They just recently came out with the movie.
I think I saw the movie. I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie, but I saw the previews.
Yeah, so I don't remember if there's a scene where there's someone cutting a tree or a plant or something, but like he hears them screaming. And I never forgot that. Like he can hear the plant screaming because his ears are
sad.
Yeah, it was super sad. Still. Anyway, so we want to know.
We want to know what you think about trees and talking and feelings.
Yeah. But trees are really cool. They live a long time. So do people, sort of. Not as long as trees.
Not as long as trees.
But maybe if you have a grandma or a grandpa who loves you a whole lot, they've told you that they're going to give you an heirloom when they pass away. So if you have a grandma or grandpa or have been given an heirloom, you know about that. Do you have any heirlooms? Or like just something that was passed down to you?
I have a bunch of my grandma's old clothes, but I don't think that really counts.
No, not technically, I don't think. If we're talking like heirloom status.
Heirloom status. No, I don't think that I have any like heirlooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. No, my aunt actually has a bunch of antique sewing machines because she's a crafter and she collects a whole bunch. She collects antiques, but she also sews, so she really collects like antique sewing machines. And she like invited me over the other day and let me pick out which sewing machine I wanted, and which like little table thing that it goes into that I wanted.
That's cool.
And I picked one of the little, because they have the ones that you crank on the side, or they have ones that are a little bit newer that are electric, or they have the ones with the little foot pedal. I think I picked one with the little foot pedal.
That would be fun.
But those are all in good condition. I don't think that I have anything from my grandma.
But you have a potential heirloom set up.
But that's from my aunt. Does that really count?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it just has to be a family member, even though my theory is like technically about grandparents.
Yeah.
I don't think it really counts as an heirloom, because I don't know where they came from or what they were to her. Yeah. So I can't really say for sure.
She just like got them from estate sales, so I don't think they're really heirlooms. Oh. That's like the closest thing that I've got, probably.
Oh, I was talking about my grandma's rings.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, my grandma left me some rings. They don't look like super expensive or anything like that. They were just hers. And that was from before she stopped wearing jewelry. And so that's kind of special. Like, they don't fit me or anything, and they're like missing some stones, but like it's kind of that category.
I have these little earrings from my mom that she used to wear in her ear that my dad got for her, and she gave them to me, but they're just from my mom.
I just think it's funny that you were like, she used to wear them in her ear.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say in her second hole, because she had two piercings like I do, and she used to wear them where I do now because they're so tiny.
Oh, they're cute. I never knew those were your mom's.
Yeah.
They're real diamonds. Ooh, let me look.
Oh, don't look too close.
Very cute. Real cute, real diamonds.
They're like pinpoint size.
Yeah, but that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to get to my theory, I'll probably have to cut.
Yeah,
because I was like
cut
mumbling
a lot of everything.
Yeah, mumbling around and whatnot. Okay. My theory is that as time progresses, and as people already aren't focused only on earrings and things like that, like, I don't know how long belly button rings have been around or anything like that.
Since the
90s. Yeah, that's what I would think. Like, belly button rings being like actually popular.
Yeah, like it's probably like the 90s.
Like a normal thing, like not like, ew, she's got a belly button ring, you know? So I wanted to theorize that in the future those will be seen as heirlooms just as much as like the top 10 heirlooms of now.
Yeah.
And and I wanted to get your thoughts on the accuracy of that, or like what you think people might value as heirlooms as we progress.
That's a good theory.
I think it would be funny more than like actually. But I can totally see someone doing that, like just someone kind of crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
My only thing is a lot of jewelry. Like, a lot of body jewelry is not,
like, clean?
Like, precious material. Like, earrings, I think, are going to be more popular as time progresses, because they do have diamond earrings, and they do have, like, white gold earrings. And gold earrings, and, like, necklaces, but that's always been a thing.
That's true.
And rings, but that's always been a thing. But nobody makes, like, freaking diamond nipple rings.
Unless they're like freaking.
Unless they're just like dirt rich.
No.
That's not a real thing. I mix two things, but you know me.
Yeah, just mixing all the things.
But
yeah, but like what if they start doing that? Like, cuz everything that's rich eventually makes it to the poor people, even if it is like a not great version of it.
Yeah.
So body jewelry is really cheap right now, but in 30 years, could it be like... Because it wasn't even legitimized until like probably the last 10 years or 5 years.
I don't know, unless they just start making freaking gold, ruby-studded nose rings. I don't really see that getting passed on because it will like tarnish and wear down and not be of like good quality.
Yeah.
Now, if I get my nose pierced and by the time I'm 85 they have those gold nose rings, then like no, I'm not gonna buy it and then like pass it down to my kid.
Yeah.
They might, actually my kids might say, you know what, my mom really liked her nose ring. I think I'm going to keep this in a box.
Yeah, I do think it would be good, like, I have vintage nose rings here.
Yeah,
like,
I want to keep these in a box. And then their, like, grandchildren
are
like,
them.
oh my god, that is so vintage. I love that.
Oh,
Can I have that for my nose ring?
And they might, like, actually wear it.
You know what, it was your great-grandmother's, just don't lose it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I care so much for it.
I care so much for this gold nose ring.
This gold ruby-studded nose ring.
So, you bring up ruby-studded nose rings. And really, I wasn't thinking about this when I formed the theory. But it makes me think, I think it may just be Hindu culture. It might be Indian culture as a whole. I'm not sure. But you know that they have those really large nose rings, and a lot of times they connect, and I think it's like I think it might be a religious thing. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. If anyone can tell us, we would be happy to know. We don't want to be ignorant or speak badly of any cultures. We just want to be educated.
Maybe those chains get passed down from
or
to
like
generation.
Like
because you know they wear them on special occasions like weddings.
Yeah.
So maybe like, oh, my great-grandmother wore this on her wedding.
Yeah. And it's like, so that could be something that's already going on. So like, I'll look into that, and then next podcast maybe I can update us.
Yeah,
and
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that was my other thing, and then one more little subsection of this theory. What if we like, because you looked up a list for us on the top 10 heirlooms.
Yes, I did. Do you want me to read it?
Please read that.
Okay, so the top 10 heirlooms, I guess top 10 most common heirlooms, is like a family Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Was number 1.
I'm not surprised.
Jewelry, typically engagement rings. Clocks or watches, typically like special engraved clocks and watches. Recipe books, furniture, military.
Like the dog tags?
Like dog tags or like military jackets or
yeah.
anything like that. Letters and diaries, photos and photo albums, and quilts, which I don't know why quilts is last. Maybe it's just because my family quilts a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more likely for me to get a quilt than anything else on that list.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I do have, maybe it's at my mom's house, but I think I do have a blanket.
Yeah.
That was my grandmother's.
Because I have, my grandpa, when he went to Missouri to visit his family, got me and my sister and my mom all Afghans made by they call her Aunt Leona.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met her, so she's not my Aunt Leona.
Mm-hmm. I like her name, though. Anyways,
it's really funny because they call her Aunt Leona.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Her name is Leona. I think it's just the accent, I guess.
Which technically, my voice class knowledge, it's the dialect, not the accent. Technically, we all speak with American accents, but we have different American dialects.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That's just stupid.
Terminology, gotcha. But okay, so photo albums and stuff were on that list.
Yeah.
As things go more digital, and as like things are,
people are gonna be passing down their iPhones.
Yeah, and since like the technology gets phased out, like, and starts slowing down, you can't use it for much. So it would be funny just flipping through your photos, like, oh, Jimmy, here's your great-grandma's iPad 2. Look at all these photos from when she was young. And
Grandma used to take selfies all the time.
Yeah, Grandma took a lot of pictures in Minecraft. What even is that?
I remember when mirrors existed.
I remember when everything wasn't backwards.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you take a picture on the front-facing camera, it flips it. But that was kind of what I was thinking. Like, I definitely think there's going to be at least passing down, like, an antique.
Well, they actually have those freaking picture frames that do the slideshow nowadays.
Oh, yeah, they've had those for a while.
They've had those for a while.
We got one of those for my grandma when we were, like, 10. We got one for my mom,
and she hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, my grandma, like, liked it a lot.
She never could figure out how to, like...
Oh, we set it up for my grandma.
Well, I think I was too young to know how to do it, and she didn't like how the pictures looked in the frame, and she didn't like the transition between them. She just, like, really didn't like it.
Yeah. It wasn't as good as the one photo.
Yeah.
Just one by itself.
I like
physical pictures.
Yeah. I like holding paper. Harper's got the laptop and I've got the notebook. I like to hold paper. I like to have a pen and write things down. Everybody's like, why don't you just put it in your notes in your phone? And it just doesn't feel the same to me.
I like having paper and things. Don't let, like, my having the computer fool you. But I know what to do with this computer for what we're doing.
I don't know what to do with that computer.
And, like, but it is, like, a detriment getting so used to writing on your phone, because when I did printed pieces, old Instagram, that's privated, so if you're not already following it, you can't see it.
That sucks for you.
But I was so used to making my poems on there that, like, it's still something I want to do, is, like, write down all my old poems, because, like, if that Instagram ever gets closed or something, I don't have those anymore.
Yeah.
That's the thing I don't like about digital stuff.
I just think, like, my sister
it's just
and,
convenient.
like, a couple of friends were writing books, and they would, like, do it in their phone. And I'd just be like, why don't you just get a little notebook, and anytime you have a thought, pull it out, pull out your little pen, write it down. I just feel like it's more concrete, I guess, when you write it in a notebook, even though, like, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah. I will, I don't take my laptop to class. I always write my notes, because as I write them, I remember better.
Yeah.
Even if I don't look at those notes again, just from writing them,
yeah,
I always remember.
Yeah, I always had to do that in school too.
So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah. I've never met anybody that's gotten a watch or furniture. I did have from my grandpa Lights, a couple of really, really old books, and from my grandma Lights, we have a bunch of, like, really, really old, like, board games, like Scrabble, Chinese checkers, things that we used to, like, play with her while we were out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a couple of those old things, but they didn't make a will. So
it was kind of just
they had 10 kids.
That's what I was about to ask you, because my dad's mom passed away, and she only had one child, which was my dad. So we basically got, besides if her sister wanted anything, we pretty much got
I'm pretty sure my dad, because me and my dad just talked about it for whatever reason, I think said, like, we're not making a will, you're just gonna have to fight each other for whatever like you want. You just, like, be fair to each other. Yeah. Don't take it for, like, monetary reasons. Yeah. Like, if you feel like it's special to you, then you should get to take it. And there were a couple of things that, like, my dad was the baby of 10, so he didn't get a lot of the things that he felt was special to him, but he didn't want to fight over it and remember that situation poorly and, like, tear the family apart for fighting over it. Yeah. And there were a couple of things that, like, him and my Uncle Roger would share, like the riding lawnmowers that they used to cut the grass out there with. And they would, like, pass it back and forth to do the lawn or whatever reason, or for whatever reason. And, like, And a lot of them, they were really nice to each other. Like, my parents gave my grandma a rosary.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, hey, this is really beautiful and expensive. You guys should have this back since you were the ones that gifted it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. I know that, like, I think my great-grandparents, it's kind of a similar situation, but different, because my Nana and my Poppy's already passed away. He passed away when, gosh, if any of my family members listen to this and I got the year wrong, that's going to be so bad. But I want to say it was 2012 or 2013. So it's been a few years. It could have even been 2011.
I feel like that's pretty close.
Yeah.
But also...
Yeah, but, like, time passes so quickly and you don't realize it.
I graduated in 2012.
Yeah, I can actually... Gosh, you don't want to know how old I was in 2012.
You're freaking 12.
It was 2011. Because I actually wrote myself an email. Don't know why I did that, but I wanted to remember it somehow, I guess. Remember how I felt. So that's how I knew I could find it. But when he died, it was kind of unexpected. Even though he was in the hospital, he had always gotten better. So no one was really planning for him not to get better.
Yeah.
And my Nana's still alive and well, doing great. Good old Nana. Love her so much. And she has asked, I know she's asked me, and she's asked my mom, and I think she asked my mom when Poppy was still alive, or maybe my mom asked Poppy, and I know other members of, like, our specific little branch from my grandma have talked to them about it, but, like, my mom asked my Poppy for his Bible before he passed, and so she got that, and then my Nana asked me if I wanted anything, and, I don't know when that was, but I got my Poppy's pillow that was shaped like a heart that he got whenever he was, because they give them to him when they have heart surgery.
Yeah, my grandpa has one.
So I have that one. And then from her, she already went ahead and gave it to me. She gave me a painting she was given. She gave me one of Poppy's hats with this little pin on it that was a cowgirl. And then she gave me this, like, sand dollar that had an explanation of, like, the sand dollar significance of something.
Oh, yeah,
so it was
I've seen those before.
Yeah, and I always thought it was really cool because, like, at the beach you can never get a whole sand dollar.
Yeah.
So I have those. And, like, it was more planned, but it wasn't formal, like a formal will.
My grandparents have recently started, like, going through their old stuff.
Doesn't it make you sad?
Yeah.
And also, like, nervous.
It makes me sad that... It makes me think that they're like, yeah, they're going to be gone soon, everybody dies. But sometimes it makes me think that they feel like they're about to die.
Yeah.
When really, they're probably just cleaning out their old junk.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always feel kind of bad because it's stuff that I don't really need.
So you don't want to, like,
so
take it.
So I don't want to take it because I don't need it.
Yeah. I think there might be, like, a few extra things at our house from, like, Caleb's family whenever his... I know that the painting over our fireplace is, like, you guys can kind of get rid of that whenever you feel like it, because it was just given to us, but we don't really need it. Like, it wasn't, like, a sentimental value thing. It was, like, hey, they just had this.
We have this, take it. That's basically how my grandma's been doing it. Yeah. She's been like, hey, like, we just cleaned out this house. Do you guys need any, like, porcelain molds? And it's like, I'm never gonna do porcelain dolls. Yeah. So I don't need any of those molds that she's got.
Yeah. It would be more beneficial to, like, donate that or something. Or sell it. And I think that's kind of what...
Oh, she did give us some Barbies. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're good.
She did get... Because she used to collect, like, really, really old Barbies. And she cleaned that out. I was like, I know that I took something one time. I got a Pocahontas Barbie.
That is so cool.
I got a Pocahontas Barbie. My sister got one of the really old, like, 1950s, like, blonde Barbie beach Barbie ones.
Oh, dang.
With the cat eye sunglasses and the little swimsuit.
Down in Kokomo. That sort of beach ball. But I think that's what distinguishes it from, like, a thing that my grandparents had to, like, an heirloom is the sentimental value.
Yeah.
So, like, because most of the things on that list wouldn't even be considered, like, monetarily valuable.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like a Bible probably values at, like, maybe $25
Yeah,
or something.
the jewelry is mainly... And when I was looking at this list, it was all like, how to sell your family heirlooms.
Yeah.
How much money can you get from this necklace? And I just feel like, why are you trying to sell that stuff from your family?
I feel like it's probably, like, dire situations, which I don't think I could ever be in a situation. I would have to be, like, literally about to be kicked out of my house.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't think that even then I would be in that. I don't think even then I would sell something.
It would depend on what it was. For me. Like, if it was a piece of furniture.
Yeah, if it was a piece of furniture, I think I'd be willing to let go of it.
If it was jewelry, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because, like, they wore that.
Unless, like, it was something that my dad made.
Oh, yeah.
Because my dad does a lot of woodworking.
Yeah.
So,
and he makes great stuff.
Yeah.
I love his stuff.
So if it was something that, like, if it was, for whatever reason, my parents, you know, they pass on, they leave me the front trellis where it's got a little bench in the middle of it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would put that in storage until I got a house. And if, for whatever reason, I was behind on my apartment's rent, I would just not eat for a week and make my rent instead of selling that trellis.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something that, like, my dad made.
Yeah.
Even though it's just in storage, like, I plan on keeping that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I know somebody who got a tattoo that matched her dad's tattoo.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And her dad had she's gonna know that I'm talking about her. If she listens to this, she follows our Instagram. But,
can we say who she is or just, like, her first name?
It's Shane.
Hi, Shane.
She got, I think it was like a little gypsy lady.
Oh, cool.
Her dad had a little gypsy lady, and so I don't know if it's in the same position as on her dad.
Yeah.
But she now has the same gypsy lady.
So it's almost like
her.
It was like.
So it's almost sort of like an heirloom because it's the same thing. But
you want to know something funny? My poppy, who later in his life became a very religious man from his younger years, on one of his, is your bicep?
Yeah.
On one of his biceps had a naked lady. and this naked lady also, I don't know if, like, the artist, it was, like, in the green ink, like, really old.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was, like, they were thinking the way she was sitting or something, but she only had one nipple drawn. And I always thought that was so funny, because he would just, like, lounge around in a tank top sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, after he took his button-up off. And I always saw it and thought it was so funny that my
is really
poppy
funny.
had a naked lady on his arm. And I feel like he probably got that, like, after he met my grandma, I feel like, because they got married, like, young-ish.
Maybe.
I don't know. I could be saying that wrong. I'll have to look back.
Yeah.
Anyways, tattoos can become heirlooms now.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Speaking of tattoos, I have a question about them.
Okay. I have tattoos.
Good.
So I might have an answer.
Cool. I was wondering if tattoos were somewhat less permanent. I'm gonna have rules. But
Oh, jeez.
if people could, like, say, think of a tattoo, and then it would appear on their skin, and then if they wanted to remove it, they could just think of it, and it would go away. You think more people would have tattoos?
I know that I would have more tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And my tattoos would probably change position based on my next tattoo. If I think, oh, this would look better in this spot, I should move this one to, like, I'd probably be redecorating my body all the time.
I think that would be really fun. And I think you could also, like, choose tattoos based on your outfit. And I think that would be cool. I think it would be more of a, like, almost an accessory.
You think it would be more of an accessory?
Versus, like...
So it's similar to... Are you saying, like, similar to changing the color of your hair?
Kind of, yeah.
Or,
like it's a
person...
It's still, like, a big personality statement, but the fact that it's not permanent would put a lot more people at ease.
Yeah. I think a lot more people would have tattoos if it wasn't completely permanent. And it would be...
I feel like it'd be less stigmatized.
Yeah, it would probably... I don't know why people hate tattoos so much.
I think it's because it started out as, like if you look back at the history of tattoos, I'm pretty sure it started out mostly for people who were, like, prisoners and stuff like that. And so
that
then...
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear, speaking about tattoos and being passed down even though we've, like, moved on, did you hear about that girl that got a tattoo because her grandpa was in Auschwitz?
No, but that's super cool. I was, like, wondering if that's where this was going.
Yeah, her grandpa was in Auschwitz.
Auschwitz? Yeah.
And got... like, had his number, and she got his number after he passed away, tattooed
I think that's, like,
in, like, the same spot on her
something
arm.
I would definitely do.
Me
I feel
too.
like I would...
I think that's a really good way to, like, show your...
and, like... Sorry.
affection for a loved one. My dogs are freaking out right now, so if you hear them in the background, I'm sorry.
But everyone loves dogs, so forgive them.
Yeah. I don't know why they're freaking out.
But I kind of think that, like, if you get a tattoo, that is also someone else's, especially if it's, like, a grandparent or a father or a parent. Like, I think that's kind of a way of honoring them. Mm-hmm. Like, I keep saying that, and I feel like I should be, like, it's, like, an honor to have something that reminds me of this person on my skin. Like, that's how highly I think of them.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. But... anyways, tattoos. So here are my rules.
Oh,
Let me pull them up.
You have them?
Yes, written down.
She's gonna write a book about this. She's gonna write a book about...
It would be freaking fun.
There's a girl that breaks rules.
No, this girl...
She breaks the tattoo rules and she gets in trouble for it and then meets the boy of her dreams.
Gosh, am I that basic? Okay, so I have some cool ones. Let's start with this one that's kind of still relating to the heirlooms. You kind of basically did it, but...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not. It's fine. We're just that great. Connected. So, what if it was a family tradition to have a certain tattoo? Almost like a crest. You know, like how...
Yeah. But then, what if you didn't like it?
You didn't have to have it. But, like, all your family members would pressure you. And they'd be like...
I actually know a family who sort of did that. They all went to Auburn, and all, like, the mom, all of the women in the family, I guess she only had sisters, but when they graduated high school and got accepted into Auburn, they would go and get an Auburn tattoo. An Auburn themed tattoo. The mom had it, like, the older sister did it. I think she was the younger sister, or maybe the middle sister. But they all, like, it was a different kind of tattoo, but it was all...
like a tradition, like a family thing.
It was like a family thing to get an Auburn-inspired tattoo.
Yeah. That's really cool. Kind of.
I think it's a little silly, but it's very similar to your, like, family crest thing.
Yeah. The part I think is cool is, like, the tradition.
Yeah,
you know, I'm obsessed with, like, the idea of tradition in certain senses.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of people continuing to do things that, like, as long as it's not getting crazy out there, like, things that shouldn't be repeated, but, like, harmless little Auburn-themed tattoos. I think it's kind of cool, because it's, like, a connection they all share.
Yeah.
So, it's through that school. Kind of same thing with, like, sorority sisters. I feel like they probably get, like, tattoos that are connected to their sorority or whatever.
Yeah.
So another one, which is probably, like, a concept that people have talked about before, but we haven't, and not on our podcast, because this is the first episode.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk about it. Tattoos being earned throughout your life. And if you earn a tattoo, it's permanent.
Yeah.
So, and you wouldn't...
Would you get to choose that tattoo, or would it just show up?
Let me think about it. I think I like the idea of them just showing up, but I want it would be like whatever your style is, you know, like it would
fit with how you are in that time.
Yeah, it would be like something that was very true to you. It wouldn't be like a punishment.
Yeah.
You know, it would be something that you were like sure to like because it was like made by your subconscious.
Yeah, that makes more sense. If it's made by your subconscious, then it will be in a place that you like and something that you like that represents whatever you had to go through to get that tattoo.
Yeah, because if you earn them, I want them to be a good thing.
Yeah.
But there is a bad part that you can get a bad tattoo. So the way in this hypothetical situation where tattoos are thought of, if you think of a tattoo while you're drunk, which is a problem in our society. It's like so many people get drunk and then go get tattoos. Well, I have fixed the problem by if you get a tattoo or think of your own tattoo when you're drunk, it is permanent. That is that situation. And I think maybe that would make people want to be sober more. Or not as not so blackout drunk.
Yeah, probably not so blackout drunk, but then you have people like me who think about tattoos
all the time.
A lot.
You would be at a loss.
Yeah.
Maybe there could be like almost like a "Are you sure?" button.
Yeah.
Like in your brain, like your subconscious is like.
Just okay. So are you saying like I have to think of a tattoo? You think like would I have to meditate on the tattoo for it to show up on my skin, or would it just be like, oh, that's a nice tattoo, boom, it's there?
I think that you would have to like physically think, this is what I want and this is where I want it, and then it would be there. Not like you couldn't be like in your head like, that would make a good tattoo idea. It would have to be like, I know I want this tattoo.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Because I think about tattoo ideas all the time.
Yeah, your body would be able to recognize the difference.
Okay.
Between just like mulling it over.
Between just like seeing, oh, I like that person's tattoo, but I should get a tattoo there.
Yeah, but also like if it's not permanent, it's not a problem unless you're drunk.
Right. Unless I'm drunk, which is.
But.
Is it a bad tattoo if I'm drunk?
It depends on what you were thinking of. And here's the thing, I will give a failsafe. If you get a drunk tattoo, you might not can erase it from your body, but you can move it to a different spot.
Can you cover it up?
What do you mean? Like with another tattoo?
Yeah.
No, I think you'd have to do like a needle one.
Mm.
Those will still exist.
Needle
Some people will be purists.
Yeah. I only get my tattoos at a tattoo parlor.
Yeah, I believe in true permanence. And I just made that word up. It would be real. It would be real.
Yeah. In the tattoo world of Harper's upcoming novel.
Yeah. What would the girl be named?
I don't know. You know, I was going to write a book, and the main character's name was going to be Isadora.
I like that. I wrote, I had an assignment where we had to write, it's like a myth, but it's really long. An epic. We had to write an epic. The name of my main character, who so happened to be a time traveler, was Infinity Lee.
Infinity Lee.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like a superhero?
It does.
Freaking Infinity Lee leaps out of the thing. I still have that. You should read it and tell me what you think. It was written my sophomore year in high school, and now I'm a sophomore in college, so I feel like it will be pretty bad.
Some years, yeah.
It'll be pretty bad, but like have good roots, you know?
Yeah, you know what? In my sophomore year in college, my English teacher told me I had the writing skill of a 5th grader still, because I had to make 4 squares. I'm not very good at writing, although it was like a freaking research paper.
Yeah. No, I think...
Those kind of suck.
I mean, Texas never taught us how to do 4 squares. I've heard other people from Louisiana mention them.
I, can't write a research paper without a 4 square. Which is a good thing why I didn't go to college, because... Yeah.
Well, you went to cosmetology school, which is different.
I didn't have to write a research paper there, though.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, so Infinity Lee probably would have some tattoos.
Is there any more rules?
Any more rules? No, not really. Do you have any rules you think would be good rules?
Wait, do a short little refresh of the rules. I forgot some.
Refresh the rules.
Not permanent unless you're drunk.
Yeah, not permanent unless you're drunk. If they are...
Or unless you're drunk or earned.
Yeah, or earned. Earned ones are good because they're created by your subconscious and it's in, like, a moment of...
enlightenment.
Yeah, that sort of thing. It's not... Like, I wouldn't want...
How would you earn a tattoo?
To earn a tattoo...
I hope, like, a little grandma across the street.
No, you have to do something, like, momentous. Like, I mean, this isn't, like, super momentous nowadays, but, like, and I don't even want to... The first thing that comes to mind, which is probably, like, if I had time to think about it more, I wouldn't use it as an example, but, like, being the first person in your entire family... Alright, let me give you this scenario. Isadora. I'm going to use her name.
Okay.
Her family has immigrated here from Japan. And her little family has worked so hard and they've created their own local business and they put enough money together and she's really smart and works really hard, gets full scholarship, gets to go off to college. She works super hard all the way through college and there's so many times when she wants to quit and the moment she walks across the stage and gets her diploma, she feels a tattoo appear, like, somewhere on her body. Because that's, like, such a feeling of relief and euphoria.
Oh, yeah, that makes
like,
sense.
I've done so much to get here. And, like, so those sort of moments, but also maybe, like, if you were having issues in a relationship, and, like, not just, like, petty issues, but, like...
But, like, abusive issues, sort of?
Well, maybe. I was thinking more of, like, you weren't understanding someone you were close to who you had understood for so long.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe you guys have, like, some sort of breakthrough. It doesn't have to be, like, a romantic relationship.
Yeah,
but,
like a brother and a sister.
Yeah, and,
something.
like, you guys have something where you come together and you finally feel close again. And you worked really hard to get there. Like, something where, like, a lot of effort is put into this. And when you reach that success, that's when you get that moment and you have earned that sort of tattoo.
It'd be purely based on that person's...
It's like an overcoming moment.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like, if you were to reach an enlightened feeling, like, you make a huge change in your life.
Yeah.
Like, for the better.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I had another question. Oh, quality of tattoos.
Oh, dang. I think that's gonna depend on how good your mind is at looking.
Yeah. Would it be based off of your mind and your imagination?
I think it would because, for example, I like to do graphic design. My hands are crap at making straight lines, but in my head, I can see what I want.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would never draw out my tattoo. Like, if I had gotten a tattoo, I would never draw it out myself. I would describe it or, like, maybe do, like, a reference and everything's really bad and give that to an artist. But if this world existed, since I can see it in my head, I can put it on my body.
Yeah.
I don't think it's based off, like, let me draw this out.
So if it was just a quick, I want a rose bracelet tattoo to go with this outfit.
Yeah.
Would it be, like, poor quality or, like, simplistic?
It would probably be more simplistic because it was quick.
Yeah.
I think you would have to spend time thinking about, like, each rose if you wanted it to be more detailed.
Yeah.
And that would probably be something that you wouldn't get rid of very quickly. You know, if it's just for an outfit for the day, you would probably keep it on for that day. And then, like, the next day, you'd be like, oh, done with you, roses. I want a daisy.
Yeah.
The daisy chain bracelet now.
If you get a tattoo somewhere, can you completely erase the tattoo, or is it stuck there forever? If I get a tattoo on my wrist, and it's a freaking bird, and I don't want a bird there anymore, can I get rid of the bird completely, or do I just have to change it out with another tattoo?
I was thinking you could get rid of it completely because you weren't drunk or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I think you'd be good. Because that's what's so great about it is it's not permanent.
Right.
You know? This... What is that word? Whenever it's like everything's perfect. This like...
utopia.
This utopia of tattoos that I'm creating in my mind.
I almost said Eureka.
Eureka!
Which is not that.
No. Would you make up any rules differently than what I made?
I don't know. Because I almost want to say, like, I think you should be good at art to have good tattoos.
Yeah.
But then I feel like that's a little selfish.
I think it's because you're an artist you feel that way.
Yeah. I think it would just make sense for somebody that's good at art to have better tattoos than somebody that can't draw or imagine anything.
It's probably, I think it would be true though, because it depends on like, so if they're an artist, they can probably quickly think of a design. Yeah. And like how they want it to look.
Yeah, I guess somebody that's not quite as good would have to think a little bit longer on it.
Yeah. The only thing that like people who were not as good would do, this is what I think they would be messed up on their placement and stuff like that. And like I think that places that are difficult to tattoo anyways, and like it's difficult for the ink to go through the skin like on your palm of your hand and stuff. Yeah. I think those places the tattoos would not quite show up as good just because the skin is so thin and stuff like that anyways. Yeah,
you shed your skin on your hands a lot.
Yeah. All the time. So I think those rules would kind of stay the same. I think that the only way that like people who are not like natural artists would not do quite as well with their, or they would do like okay with their tattoos would be if it was based off a photo picture. Yeah. Like, or like I've seen this rose, I want this rose that I'm picturing in my mind.
Would be very realistic. Yeah. Or they could commission people to draw things and then look at that drawing and think of the spot on there.
And that would be really cool. That would be like a whole new like section of work for artists. Yeah. You know, like not like instead of just being like a tattoo, not just being, but instead of being a tattoo artist, you could be just an artist, you know, like, and do whatever you wanted. And that would also stop.
Okay, but then what about not plagiarism?
Oh, yeah, well, it is plagiarism. Art. That is plagiarism.
Is it plagiarism?
It's the same.
What about plagiarism? If somebody doesn't ask your permission for your art, would that be one of the rules? Like, maybe. Would their subconscious know that was wrong and they would come out a little bit warped?
I think it would, like, reject it. I think it would be like, you'd be, like, thinking of it, and you'd be like, oh, I really want that tattoo. And if you don't change it at least a little bit, your body wouldn't allow it to appear. Assuming that your subconscious is moral.
Yeah. Then you get into the people that don't
have those are called sociopaths. Yeah.
A freaking anytime I hear that word I think of Adventure Time.
I think of Sherlock Holmes.
I think of Adventure Time because he's the Ice King is flying through the cosmic because he's got knocked out. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what's wrong with me? Is my beard too shaggy? And he comes across the Cosmic Owl, and the Cosmic Owl is like, you're a sociopath.
Oh my goodness. But I think that then we would just have the problem of, like, what is it, like, maybe instead of having, maybe people who are just slight sociopaths, like their worst thing would be stealing other people's tattoos. Yeah. Like they wouldn't be, probably not all people who are like sociopath tendencies are murderers, but they're known to be that way, like historically.
Yeah, they're freaking crazy.
But maybe we wouldn't have so many murders, we'd just have people stealing tattoos.
Freaking stalkers.
But anyways, that covers it for our theories for this week, and so we want to go into this new segment.
All segments are new.
Yeah. Our segment that I'm excited about because I kind of came up with it, and we're gonna see if it works. I have some movie ideas that I got from Tumblr. So the idea is that like every podcast, I'll have a couple movie ideas or book ideas or just like that sort of thing. And I'll ask Cassie, and then the next week she'll do the same for me, vice versa. And we're calling it Would you watch that? So, Cassie, I will ask you, would you watch that to the next, like, there's 3 of them.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
This person actually, the screenshot I'm looking at doesn't have their username on that, so I'm really sorry. If anyone knows who this is, just let us know, and I'll credit them in the next podcast. So the post says, what if a princess, like, picture this as a movie or a book or something. A prince is cursed to be a dragon, but instead of being upset by it, they're like, yeah, I'm a dragon, and they spend weeks finding the perfect decrepit castle to haunt and trying to convince their fiancé to be a princess in the tower just for like a week, and everyone is like, we can break the curse, but the prince is like, but I'm a dragon. So that's idea number 1.
Okay, so...
Would you watch that?
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Which, I guess I'm not allowed to have questions in
I mean,
segment.
you
I'm supposed to just have yes or no.
Tell me your yes or no and then ask questions.
Would I watch that? Is it a cartoon?
I was kind of picturing it not as a cartoon, but I definitely could see it being a cartoon.
I would watch the cartoon version.
You would watch the cartoon version? I think it would be more fun as a cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like a Tangled-esque cartoon.
Yes.
I love Tangled, and I feel like Flynn Rider would be that dragon prince.
Yeah.
So.
I like my medieval magical movies that are live action to be more serious.
Yeah, like not jokes sort of thing, or like not comedy.
I like a little bit of like comic relief, but I like it there to be a serious underlying.
Because you don't want it. You want it to be like real.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be like, I'm not in this universe.
I'm not, and I don't really like comedies unless they're cartoons. But I also don't like adult cartoons.
Yeah, I like adult cartoons.
I just don't think that I like adult humor.
Yeah,
that's probably it.
I mean, that's kind of. Honestly, I think so many comedies that come out, like older comedies, are pretty funny.
Yeah.
But so many of the recent ones are just trash. Like, their concepts aren't good.
It's like, well, they've had 3 of the same thing with the Hangover, and then, like, well, what is it? Bridesmaids.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, Bad Moms.
I don't know if all those
Neighbors,
have sequels,
Neighbors
has a sequel. Neighbors is pretty bad.
They're all basically the same thing. Everybody gets super drunk and ruins something, and
they go attack the issue that's like plaguing them. Yeah. Didn't you know all comedy revolves around alcohol?
I didn't
know
know
that.
I didn't know that. I thought comedy revolved around funny
people? Yeah. Well, not in this world. Not in this America. Well, okay.
It is current year.
Okay, so my next little movie idea, I'm saying it's a movie idea. So this has like, it starts with the first one. Like someone made this.
So this is like a sequel prequel?
No, someone made a post, and then the person replying to that post is, like, where the idea is.
Okay.
So the original post is by just-shower-thoughts, and they say, if Snow White literally had lips red as a rose, hair black as ebony, and skin white as snow, she'd look like a walking nightmare. And then play-read-write replies, honestly, this sounds like the description of a vampire, which would also explain how she convinced 7 dwarves to let her stay with them, how she could control some animals to do her bidding, how she could sleep for a long time without aging, why the hunter betrayed the queen for her, and why the queen wanted her heart so she could be sure she was killed properly.
Okay, but before I say yes or no, she had those things because that's what was most attractive of that time period.
That's true. This was like made in like
pale
the
people,
40s or 30s.
Yeah, pale people, and
And that contrast.
And, well, even though it was made in, like, the 1940s, she was in a different time period.
Oh, yeah.
And people in that time period, like, pale people, were royalty, so they were beautiful.
Yeah, because they didn't get their skin.
Didn't go outside and do any work.
And
so
I would have to look at, like, because you know all those... Every single Disney movie that has, like, is, like, so sweet and innocent and whatever, always has, like, the Tales of Grimm are actually, like, actually...
I actually have that book.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look and see, like, what actually happened to Snow White.
Yeah, we will.
But
Snow White is a vampire.
Reader watch, because books are always better.
I don't think I would read that.
Really?
I think if the previews looked good and it wasn't like cheesy, I'd probably watch it, but I'm a sucker for the paranormal.
Yeah. I think that if anyone other than Disney did it, I wouldn't watch it. Because Disney's retelling of Maleficent...
It was really, really good. Is this a serious one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's kind of dark.
But I also think that...
Like a dark drama.
I don't think that...
Disney does dark stuff. They will. Like, they own Marvel and things like that, which is not necessarily dark, but they have, like, dark
I don't
stuff.
really like superhero movies.
I do.
Maleficent was good, but I also think that other people could do just as good with it.
Like other companies?
Like, yeah. Or, like, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Disney does a lot of the stuff correctly that they do.
Yeah.
And they have such a good team that I trust them with sorts of things. And I feel like, for example, someone right now who is in Disney is making an Ariel live action by a different name. Like a Little Mermaid live action movie. Like, I've seen it advertised.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out because I love The Little Mermaid. And I feel like if the wrong, inexperienced people who don't truly know the character, which, like, how can you know that till you see the movie they make? But people who are just in it for the...
I've seen so many, like, Little Red Riding Hood remakes that are live action go towards, like, a werewolf kind of feel. Mm-hmm. And they've all been done really well. Yeah. By people. And I think if it was more of a horror thriller...
Yeah. Disney shouldn't do it, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. What if they did it in... This is going off into a different direction. But what if they did it Tim Burton style? Oh, you don't like that idea?
I'd have to see it. Because I feel like if they did Tim Burton style, then Johnny Depp would be the hunter. And I just don't know if I want to see Johnny Depp as the hunter
That's his golden boy, Cassie. But I understand. Johnny Depp, automatically I think of Captain Jack Sparrow. So the first thing I was thinking of was Captain Jack Sparrow as the hunter.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of, because he plays in like I don't know if Tim Burton directed this, but he plays in Sleepy Hollow as Ichabod Crane. Mm. And he was really good at that. But I don't know if he would be good as a hunter, and he was really good as the Mad Hatter.
I feel like they'd maybe make him the Queen's assistant.
Maybe.
Or maybe, yeah, I think he would be good as the Queen's assistant who passes along the story. And, like, tells how it gets twisted. Yeah. Like, if he was the storyteller, because I don't think they would put him in the hunter's thing, because the hunter is too easily because I think, doesn't the witch usually have, like, I know they almost always have crows.
Well, would he be the mirror?
Oh, dang. That would be really cool.
Yeah. But then that's such a small part for...
But they could make it big.
Johnny, yeah.
And
then that goes into the more of the dramatic thing, and I would really like to see it as more of a sci-fi horror...
I would like that, too.
Fantasy thing.
I don't want it to be the typical vampire, like, what has been known... Or what's become of vampires, Yeah. Like, I wouldn't want it... Don't need any of that Edward Bella bull crap.
No sparkles here.
No. Okay, so you ready for the third and final one? It actually is kind of related. Look at me. And my villains turned superheroes or superheroes turned villains, sort of, because Snow White could be seen as the hero of that story. No. Really, was she?
Yeah. She was basic.
Really, it was the dwarves.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, Bryn writes, that's her username, says, why do the heroes in movies stay on the phone when the villains threaten them? So this is gonna go into the thing.
Okay.
It seems really obvious that the moment the villain goes into threatening mode, you should just, hang up. Now, you don't know what the villain was trying to do to get you, so any threat is inconsequential. The villain has to find a new way to get the information to you. You've got more time to figure out how to defeat them. So what if there was, a movie where the superhero just, or maybe not a movie, maybe more like a webcomic series or something. It probably wouldn't be able to make it into a feature film.
Yeah.
But the superhero just keeps hanging up on the villain. And then, or just, keeps avoiding them and, invalidating them. So that would be, I think it would need to be, corny and cartoony.
Yeah, well, sometimes, Bryn writes, that happens on NCIS. Maybe you just need to
watch it.
Maybe you just need to broaden your TV shows. Sometimes it's not really the villain, if it's, a
person.
Villain that is personally attacking Agent Gibbs, he'll stay on the phone with them so that he can track them and trace them.
Yeah, but superheroes aren't doing that.
But if it's somebody that's trying to get in the way of him arresting or bringing down this criminal, and they're just blabbing on nonsense, he just hangs up. There was this one episode that I watched recently where they found a dead body in this vacant house, and a realtor was trying to show the house, and she was like, when is this going to get cleaned up, and when am I going to be able to show this house again, because I lose money every day that it's on the market. And Ziva is one of the agents, is listen, well, once the investigation is over, you'll be able to do this. And the lady just keeps on it and is like, I want to speak to your supervisor. So she hands it to Gibbs, and she's like, she wants to speak to my boss. And he takes it, and he presses the, because this show is from the early 2000s. So he takes it, and it's a little flip phone. And he presses the red hang-up button and, hands it back to her.
Yeah, he's just not today.
Yeah, so he, hangs up on people that... Just hangs up on the people that are obstacles between him and the actual villain. With the actual villain, since it's a cop show and they're using cell phones, he typically has to stay on the line.
Yeah.
To track them.
Just gets rid of the everyday villain.
Yeah.
So, I think that would make a funny cartoon.
I think it would make a funny cartoon, and I feel like it's very similar to,
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
No. Yes, but no. I think it's very similar to, Megamind.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I was thinking of Megamind when I was reading this to you, and I love Megamind. I really love that movie.
It's so good.
It's so funny, and how they what is that song they play?
Crazy Train.
Yes. I don't think, I think I had always, because I don't remember when that came out. I wasn't, young.
Yeah.
But I think, I didn't listen to rock music growing up.
Yeah.
So I think that was whoa, that's a bad song. You know?
Oh, yeah. Don't tell Chris that you
Chris already knows.
Crazy Train.
Don't tell him.
I think Crazy Train is just Ozzy.
Oh.
Chris likes Metallica. And I think that there's
he's a purist.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm sorry.
I don't think anybody likes just Ozzy, and if they like just Ozzy, I don't think they like Metallica.
No, dang.
Maybe it's like Elvis people and Beatles people. You're either a Beatles person or an Elvis person. But also, I think that that's stupid.
Yeah.
Let the record be known. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Thing?
Let the record. Well, let the record show.
Let the record show that I hate dividing people up into two groups.
Mm-hmm.
Dog people and cat people. Why can't there be bird people? What
But
if somebody hates dogs and cats and they like birds?
Oh, yeah.
You can't say, oh, well, a bird person fits into the cat person category because birds are more self-sufficient. Whatever. Or something like that.
Why would you put a bird person in the cat category when cats like to eat birds and
I
dogs?
know.
Dogs and cats. Did I tell you, attacked a bird in our yard, in our backyard, and it really freaked Allison out, too.
Oh my gosh. But, like, Elvis people and Beatles people, why can't people like both Beatles and Elvis?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't there be a Johnny Cash person? You know?
But also,
I hate Elvis and Beatles, but I like Johnny Cash. But since I like Johnny Cash, I'm an Elvis person. Not that that's not me. I like Elvis.
Yeah.
And I like Johnny Cash.
Well,
I'm not super fond of the Beatles, but
I feel like, I agree. But also, I don't want to say I'm a Beatles person because I haven't listened to them enough to know if I am. I will say I'm definitely a Johnny Cash and an Elvis person.
yeah.
So does that mean I dislike the Beatles? I don't know. Don't put me in that category.
I just hate that it's like you're either one or the other, even if you don't like either of them or you like both of them.
Yeah.
There are more categories than just two people. You know who I'm talking to.
Our mutual friend. So it's been a good podcast.
It's been great.
I've really enjoyed this.
It's been fun. My dad used to say it's been real and it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
But that's the opposite here.
Yeah.
It's been real fun.
It's been fake and it's been not fun, but it's fake for me to say it's been not fun.
What? Oh my gosh. Cassie, I love you. You're just fantastic.
Thanks.
Today I added another tea to my repertoire of tried teas.
Repertoire. I like that we're still having hot tea every time we work on this.
Yeah.
Even though we're not doing the teapot thing.
I know. Guys, originally we weren't going to discuss our theories at all before, but we kind of wanted to...
I wanted to research more.
Yeah. We wanted to be able to kind of have ideas even if we didn't talk to each other about them, like talk them out already.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be thinking of them. But before we were going to randomly pull out theories we'd written down from the teapot and then ask them to each other. But we also wanted to drink hot drinks every time because I don't like coffee. And also, who doesn't enjoy a hot drink? But I'm kind of trying to find my favorite hot drink.
I love coffee and hot tea. I don't like the floral teas.
Yeah.
Those are disgusting.
Would the pina colada tea I tried be floral?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. It's fruital.
Yeah, that's a fruity tea.
Fruity tea.
There's like fruit tea and spice tea and then black tea.
Man, I have so many teas to try.
And then there's floral teas. Floral teas taste like old lady perfume.
I don't think I'll enjoy those.
No.
I should probably try one just out of...
Ugh, hate them.
If anyone knows a good tea maker out there...
Tijuana's really good.
Please, yeah.
Oh, you know what? They have that place here. Forget what it is, but they have hot tea and like sandwiches and stuff. And you can go have tea. I think maybe it's called the Tea Room.
Oh, the Glenwood Tea Room.
Yeah.
I think. Gosh, I hope I didn't get their name wrong. But, this podcast was sponsored by My Love for Theories. If you'd ever like to sponsor us, get in touch at lunabloomstudio@gmail.com.
Yes.
Other ways you can support us are...
Patreon.
Etsy.
Etsy. Yes, our Etsy shop is currently...
Under construction.
I'm hoping that we will get our website up soon so we can just take all of our crafts off of Etsy. But currently it's FlipperyandFinery on Etsy because that was my personal little jewelry thing since I've kind of broadened my creative spectrum a little bit more.
And she brought me in, and that was so nice.
Yeah, I've kind of changed it. I've added a couple of things to redirect you back to our Instagram, which is also another way you can support us by following us, liking all of our pictures, participating in our little comment boxes.
We hope you enjoyed our Q&A on Monday.
We're gonna continue to have Q&As for you guys.
I'd like to continue doing them the night before the podcast.
Yeah, that'll releases. Be good.
Just because if we're able to, if we're both off and not busy, we'd like to do that. Or maybe like once a week if you guys would like to keep participating in them.
Yes, once a week before our podcast. If anybody is interested and wants to do the Patreon $10 thing for an extra podcast, we'd love for you guys to do that. We're really enjoying this time that we spend together and putting our creative minds into something that
other people can enjoy.
You continue.
Okay. So we really hope that you've enjoyed listening to us and spending time with us today. We hope to see you next week. We'll have lots of more cool theories and cool, would you watch that?
Yeah, and maybe you guys can join us and have a hot beverage.
Yeah. Bring your tea, settle in at whatever time we decide to release our podcast.
Post pictures on your Instagram and tag us in it of you listening with your little hot drink.
Yeah, or put it on your story when you listen and tag hashtag be a bud with a little sunflower emoji at the end. That's our favorite hashtag. Hashtag it.
Hashtag it.
Do a listening party with your friends.
Yes. Tell all your friends. Tell your mom.
We want to be able to keep doing this. And we're going to do it. I want to make a pledge right now that we're going to do at least 52 podcasts. That's a year.
Yeah.
If after 52 we're like, this is too much work, this isn't what we want to keep doing.
Yeah.
But I think if we don't, we owe it to ourselves to stick it out to at least 52 podcasts.
I think we'll do 52 podcasts.
I think we'll exceed 52 podcasts.
I hope people start listening.
Yeah.
Before we get to 52.
That would be nice, but
I know we gotta start somewhere, and I understand that. I want people to be appreciated.
Yeah.
You know,
we love this so much, and we want you to love it too. So love it, nourish it, help it grow from a seed into a bloom, into a flower, to a blossom. From a seed to a bloom to a blossom.
Oh my goodness, you're getting too crazy with this. I'm literally dying from how hungry I am.
Cassie.
My stomach is eating my spine.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go eat food. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I have to have that off.
Okay, so here's the deal.
And da 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 da.
Right?
Well,
theoretically speaking.